potential. My teleporter is ready to deploy.
Alright guys, Sim's got some changes coming and I'm here to talk about the forum post. Jeff made a post and he says, we currently moved her to defense. We tried a healer version which had her turrets healing instead of dealing damage, but it felt super awkward, especially with how fast Overwatch moves. That being said, we're playing with the new way her turrets deploy. Instead of having to stick them directly onto the wall herself, she can now fire an undeployed version like a projectile which sticks to walls and ceilings, etc. Once it sticks, it will unfold like it does currently on the wall. This helps for a bunch of reasons. One of the big ones being that it makes it a lot easier for her to play on offense, just to be able to pre-position her turrets much more easily and quickly. So in essence, you're on one side and you want to position your turrets behind the enemy, you can do that now while you're on the other side. You don't have to run back there and set them up, which is great. Also, there are other changes to her turrets as well. We've lowered the max number to 3 that she can hold in pocket and 3 that can be deployed. We've increased their damage and slowing potential. They have 30 health currently, though the number will probably change over time as we test. They die easily, but there is a significant difference between dying to any damage and just having very low HP. Currently, Symmetra's turrets have 1 HP, so they die to anything. You know, you just sneeze on them and they die. So they're changing that, which I'm happy for too. Then he went on to say in the post, so far we found that the turrets to be much more powerful this way, not less. Keep in mind, it's almost like you're deploying 2 turrets at the same time now. Since they're more powerful individually, you lose a bit of map coverage, but overall the turrets are actually more impactful, not less. Plus, spending less time redeploying turrets frees you up to do other things at the same time rather than spending so much time on focus, moving around, and trying to keep your turret nest up somewhere useful. I don't nest. I prefer to have map coverage personally, so I'm not a fan of this change. We'll have to wait and see how that goes though. It's really important to me. Yeah, it says yes, we're still trying to see what's working pretty well right now. Is her primary fire has changed. No longer works as a straight beam. It's fairly thick. It no longer locks on, but works as a straight beam and is fairly thick and increased range. It still has the potential to gain damage by dealing damage like it does now. Instead of going 30, 60, 120 DPS, it's currently 65, 130, 195. However, it now takes a combined 2 seconds of damage to level up to the next tier instead of 1 second. This means the weapon has significantly more potential, but it is more difficult to get to max power. Also, when hitting a barrier, it generates ammo instead of consuming it. This means that not only is she good at taking down barriers themselves, but she's good at just generating charge off of those barriers so that she can kill whoever's behind the barrier, right? I like that. I hate a resistance shield, and I think we need something to deal with it as well. Her alternate fire is a large charge-up projectile. It has a bunch of important changes as well. First off, the max charge is in 1 second, down from 2. The projectile speed is increased significantly from 10 ms to 30 ms. Lastly, instead of piercing enemies, it impacts enemies and the environment and explodes, dealing area damage around it. We've been heavily iterating on how much damage this ball deals, but a direct shot has been hovering around the area of 130-ish, with a large percent of damage coming from the direct impact rather than the splash damage. I'll say again, we're heavy iterating these numbers. Nothing's locked in stone. They're still working on it. They're gonna see what works best. I guess at this point I should have posted everything in the same time. It makes more sense in context. So I'll post what's left at this point. Her teleporter is moving to her E ability, and the photon barrier is moving to her ulti. These have had massive changes as well. The teleporter now works as follows. You place the exit like you normally do, except that when you can place it 25 meters away instead of right in front of you. When you place the exit, the entrance automatically gets built right in front of you instead of at the spawn. It only lasts a short time, but allies can use it freely as they normally do, and new things can be teleported as well. We're experimenting with what works and what doesn't. You can currently teleport things such as Torbjorn turrets, Diva's mech, Junkrat's tire, This leads to some sneaky, fun plays that are unique to Symmetra. This also allows you to get to high ground on an offensive comp that wouldn't normally be able to get there. Um, the, the the teleport is going to have 300 HP, and if you break one, the other will break as well. Her full-time barrier has moved to her ultimate, and it's very different too. Instead of placing a moving barrier, she places a static barrier wall, effectively infinite in size and 5,000 HP. She places the wall like a May places her ice wall, which means you can place it at some range and you can also change the orientation. This is fairly early still, and we've only started working on the visuals, animation, sounds, etc. So it's a little ways out. We don't have an ETA for you guys, but hopefully it won't be too long. I don't know. I'm not happy about losing my shield. I think Symmetra's shield is really, really important for her survival. It being moved to an ulti, I don't know if I'm happy about that, but we'll wait and see. I will say this though, that I'm definitely not happy with losing my orb going through everyone like it does. It's such a big help at a lot of times with the fact that we have so many barriers and stuff like that. However, with the changes to her weapon, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what's to come. I'm kind of nervous because every character I like to play, they go and break her. So maybe I should stop playing Junkrat. Who knows? See you in the next one, guys. Mucho cariño. Mwah. Peace.